I just hit the record, but I gotta stretch. Oh my god. All right, so let's start talking about Ethereal. What's the full name? Clash of Souls, right?
Ethereal Clash of Souls, yep.
All right, yeah. So, really quick, I just want to start off by saying I am not connected to Ethereal, at least yet, in any way, right? And JellyKnees here, I basically consider him the spokesperson of Ethereal. Like, if you want to, like, okay, so no, I like, for real, like, if you want to see an Ethereal video, whether it be a character breakdown and all that stuff, literally go to his channel, check him out. But I got a bone to pick. I got criticism. I got feedback. Just being from the outside in, because like, so I'll let JellyKnees explain. Like, how do you become a content creator for Ethereal? Let's just start off here before we dive deeper into what the game is. You know, some of the benefits and differences in this game, etc.
Yeah. So for Ethereal, their big caveat is having exclusive content for them. That you've done one video or several videos about their game, talking about it, breaking it down, whatever you're going to do toward that end of promoting the game to more people, to your audience. That's really the big number one thing.
Now, how long have you actually been with Ethereal?
I actually don't know as a content creator, I gained my status in early November.
Okay. So, because I'm someone from the outside looking in, like anybody that has even followed Ethereal a little bit, don't know that they're probably 99% dependent on their Discord, which I know you and I were talking 100%. About before. Like, it's almost like it's a great thing that their Discord is so well organized, all these different categories, all their staff are like specifically highlighted, like, hey, these are the staff. Very well organized, probably one of the nicest Discords I've seen out there. But
100%.
But why? I don't understand why they rely so much on Discord, because I know for a fact you, JellyKnees, and me, we mute every fucking Discord that we go into.
Every single one,
dude. Yeah. I counted like 2 weeks ago. I have 74 Discords that I'm part of.
Holy crap!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then when something is only relying off a Discord, I actually have to go in and be like, click, scroll. Is there anything new that I should? Okay, no. Click, scroll. Which,
especially if you didn't see the announcement as it happened, and like there's chat underneath or messages more underneath, and you have to like search through the text to find. Oh yeah, no, I totally understand that.
And the fact that, have you noticed that even in their Discord, you just mentioned the something that I really think they should stop doing. Mention an announcement, and then, like, you know, they'll mention some key thing, but then like chat kind of takes over. Like, it's like, I really think that, one, they need to stop doing only Discord announcements. One, it's annoying as shit from a personal standpoint, but they're missing a huge opportunity. Yeah, like, everybody knows nowadays the biggest form of sharing content is YouTube. Now, granted, you know, I know they're relying on content creators like you and other people to actually make videos on it and such. But why don't they like make their own video about it, and then content creators can break it down? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
and I think I'm the evidence that it's possible. Right? I mean, I've got 40 something videos at this point off of little information, but enough information to make 40 videos off of. So it's the content is there.
Like I'll give you props. Like, I was watching your Dante breakdown, right? And I'm sitting here and I was like, okay, so I read the exact same thing that this man did, but he actually made a 10-minute video about it. Like, I was sitting here and I was like, get out of here. I literally would have been like, all right, so at about 3 to 5 minutes, I'm done going over the kit. Let me just show some gameplay or something like that. But, so, do you know if it's just like a personal choice? Like, because I'm sure you've probably reached out to certain aspects to them about it, considering you're a little bit deeper in the web. Like, I
know, I won't say it was a personal choice necessarily, but they're scared of hyping up the community again to let them down. I mean, it's been in the works for almost 4 years at this point. And we still, other than the test we did in November, have next to nothing. So they're afraid of building everybody up for the 5th time just to be like, oh, well, it didn't work out, so we're sorry, we're going to move, we're pushing it again. But that's something I've been talking to them about, is they have 3,000 followers or 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, 6,500 on Facebook, a couple thousand on Instagram. Their Twitter has a couple thousand, and they have their Discord of several thousand. I don't know the exact number there, but at least a couple thousand people. If we're just posting a Discord, we're missing so many people in those other categories. And they've started doing Facebook posts. I saw one the other day. YouTube, I haven't seen anything on yet. Instagram is getting more posts, luckily. So they're starting to break out into that area a little more, but just not quite all the way yet.
Do they have a community manager, like somebody that handles all that shit, or is it just kind of like...
They do. I believe Cosmic Genesis and Luke are the 2 community managers for them. They also announced literally yesterday that they're doing a community corner on their YouTube sometime soon. We don't know what exact day that is. So I'm assuming that maybe this week or early next week.
I'm assuming that's some sort of, hey, ask us questions, we answer them, make a video for you sort of deal. It's like community outreach sort of deal, probably.
Yeah.
But you mentioned besides November, we really don't have much. And can I say, even though like that little map that they created for that specific event, kind of cool, you know, very ominous and everything, got a lot of people interested and whatnot. I'm honestly incredibly curious, because from what I've heard from content creators in the program, and just even talking to some of the developers and stuff like that, like I know for a fact progression has been made towards maps.
Yep.
I know for a fact progression has been made towards individual characters, several of them. So I'm very, very curious as to why they chose Dante only November in a new map with Paragon minions, when they had their own minions already made, maybe not fully tested, but they had them made. You know, like when I put it that way.
Absolutely. And I think I can't speak 100% to what their logic was behind that. Just kind of my feeling about the whole event. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was more of just a, look, we are working on the game. We have Dante, we have functional towers, we have towers designed, we have the Elder mechanic that's there. It's a little bit of information, but they weren't ready to show the whole map or other characters or whatever it may be. They may still, I mean, because it was November and now we're in February, we've got 4 months in between that they could be polishing animations, doing all those kind of things, that maybe those ones weren't, the other myths weren't as ready as Dante was in that moment.
Now, but I don't know, like, because one of the things that I always try to think about whenever I look at, like a company that's upcoming and stuff like that is, could that have been done a little bit better, and can it be improved upon down the road? Like, for example, getting content creators to play Dante 3v3s and all that, cool experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But realistically also, would it have been like, listen to these 2 alternatives. Imagine they give you Dante in their new, or let's say their old map, just a little corner of their old map, right? And they give you Dante and you get to walk around and just shoot for 5 minutes. Tell me that wouldn't be like gold as a content creator, and it's gold for them too, because so much is being shown.
They should do that for the full map as well. I'm thinking like back when Core was teasing that it was coming out, before all the
gray map and everything, like let you walk around.
Had the map that you could run around as Kalari and check out the map and do all the things, just as
answer questions.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to see for Ethereal, considering it's a map that nobody has played on yet for us as the community, right? So giving content creators the opportunity to run around solo on that map, answer questions if need be, or just check out the general area, because it's going to be new to everybody, I think would be a huge moment of outreach for the Ethereal community to get pulled back in and see there is something here, there's more to do, at least for content creators, if not to more people than that.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I like, one of the reasons why I think it's like such a missed opportunity, because even when did the first map video come out? Because I got the footage here. I'll even put it up on the screen or whatever. But the first map video came out like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
2018. And that map, it got completely scrapped.
Correct.
They have a completely different map now. So yes, it came out in 2018, but because they had to restart, it's one of those weird areas.
But that map looked good. It looked very, very good. Like, you get me? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one of those things that, yeah, like, they showed a cool video on it, right? But, you know, ramped up a little bit of hype. Like, even, like, as far as community goes, even if it's either a content creator or just the developers, like, having it's being able to see the developers just walk around the map, talk about it. You get me?
Yep.
Like, even
100%.
something incredibly simple like that. Hold on, I think your Discord just your camera just froze. There we go. All right. But even just something as simple as that, like, I get it that they're not trying to hype the community up too much, but I really, really think that they should at least keep doing something to keep the fire alive. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think they've been under the impression that their blog posts are acting as that flame, keeping everyone at bay without giving new information here and there as they have it, things like that. And I love the blog posts. I mean, most of my content is created off of those blog posts. So don't stop those. I'm not telling you to stop, please. But it's one of those things is the blog post can only last for so long. People can only take that as the carrot for so long before they're going to start wondering, is there actually a game to this in comparison to other things?
Yeah. Now, which was why the playtest was smart, because they showed functional mechanics. Might have not been the smoothest. That's understandable. They explained clearly, hey, this is a map that we made just for this event. We're not choosing to use our minions because of this reason. Like, they did thoroughly explain everything. Just word of advice, if you're not used to Twitch streaming and transitions and overlays and stuff like that, I definitely recommend to get you know, somebody that is used to streaming and videos, to just kind of be like, all right, we're gonna let you control all the overlays and all the sounds and everything and stuff like that. Because unfortunately, I did witness the fact that during the couple of hours of the dev stream, as it was happening and everything,
yeah,
at least a third of that was troubleshooting. You couldn't hear some voices. The overlays were out of whack, because it looks like the overlay was made specifically for like 4 webcams, I think, or at one point, or at 3. And then once somebody left, so now you got one webcam being split down the middle while they're talking. So definitely just probably have somebody either polish or prepare that a little bit better. Or quite frankly, if you're going to be the developers engaging with the community, it's honestly, like, it's dauntingly difficult to stream, entertain, answer questions, provide content, and like to balance all that at the same time. That's like, honestly, live streaming, the people that pull it off flawlessly, it is an art. And it really is difficult for somebody that's not used to it. And I've seen this with multiple developers when they come to live stream and they're like, all right, hold on guys, for some reason chat's saying that the volume isn't right, and I chat saying that it's kind of cutting in and out, it's pixelated, I'm not sure what's going on. And that's why having somebody that has streaming experience and not only help you set everything up, but possibly even take the lead while you focus on the community engagement might be a way
some
better
kind of
scenario.
producer, dedicated producer to the whole event could be huge.
For sure.
Someone that's not involved directly on camera and can literally just sit behind the scenes, hitting buttons, doing things as it comes necessary.
Transition. So it literally looks almost like an organized TV show, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you don't have all those
the
issues.
thing, like, I will give them credit for is that dev stream, technical issues aside, is still better than a lot of ones I've seen where the devs it's usually one dev sitting on camera, very monotone. Okay, so today we're gonna look at the map because we have a new map for you all to see. And
that reminds me of a Crytek dev stream.
yes.
Like the Crytek dev stream, I look at them and I'm like, I love these guys. They're answering all the questions, but I low-key, I almost feel like I'm watching two different versions of Dexter.
Yes, exactly.
Like I'm like,
I know exactly what
it's a little bit, it's a little bit unsettling. Like
100%.
But so it was entertaining. Like I'll say this, even with the glitches aside, it was entertaining to watch them solve those glitches. It was almost satisfying to see the fact that the personalities that they have working on the project, they have good personalities. They have people that are energetic, talk to you, they were happy, they were excited about the project. That was nice to see. It was a total mindfuck when you saw two different people switch computers in the same scene. Like, they're in the same house.
Wait,
like,
yeah, no, I feel you.
Oh my God. But all that aside, so like, here's my thing. I think the word I want to use is convoluted, because like I give them props. They're trying to create this whole new genre, and they, like at first they started with the whole, hey, our towers are going to be stacked on top of each other. Now, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, they announced that they will no longer be stacked, but they're now going to be side by side, but they're still going to be the travel implementations with heroes and stuff like that.
So they're side by side, but they're stacked vertically. They're stacked just slightly offset.
So like
you're gonna have a lane
almost
in the middle, and then you're gonna have another lane floating above it, but just slightly off to one side, and then the third lane over here. So it's still stacked, but just not completely vertically on top, like cake layer. It's not cake layer anymore.
No, I get you. So at least the picture you just painted. So there's going to be a middle layer, and then the other two are in different actual levels, above, so to speak.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you know, like, would this still be considered the top lane because it's the top one? Would this be the bottom lane because it's the bottom one? And would the mid lane be the one in the middle? Oh, your camera froze again? Okay.
Again, I don't know what's happening.
Dude, rip Discord.
But so the current thought process is that the lowest lane, I should say, the lowest lane is going to be the mid lane. So you'll have your mages and things go there. And then the middle floating lane is going to be your duo lane, and then the highest floating lane will be your solo lane. They have the official terms for them that help define them a little better is void lane, fire lane, and ice lane. So you'll have void lane, which is the lowest. That's your mid lane. Fire lane, we think, is going to be the duo lane, and then ice lane's your solo lane.
I like those names. Like, I just want to throw it out there. Like, I like it, and it almost not only sets up like the multiple environments that you can set up. For example, we might have seen some sort of fire lane potential in that tester that they did with Dante and stuff like that.
100%.
But I kind of like it also because, you know, like ice lane, they could be more towards, you know, sustainability, structures, you know, tankiness, whatever. Void lane, that screams a mage sort of environment kind of deal. All purple, fuck you, you're gonna make me go into a mid lane main in that game now because it's purple. And then the whole fire lane, you know, like, you know, I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with destruction and stuff like that. But what I'm like, they got so much potential going down that route that, you know, even though they still keeping a lot of stuff close to the chest, could you imagine their fire lane might have a specific buff that helps you specifically do more damage to the ice lane, because you can melt the ice. Like, you not necessarily like they could put play into structures and stuff like that, but imagine you now do more damage in this lane because you carry this buff. That might be a jungler's incentive to go to the fire lane and then repeatedly travel across and make it to ice lane before the buff runs out. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of throwing that in there.
Yeah, no, that's kind of cool.
Or like void might have a benefit in fire because fire can't exist in the void because there's no oxygen.
Kind of its own rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, they could easily kind of run through there with, and since there's going to be individual characters, of course, they can easily do that rock, paper, scissors thing as far as the environment and weather. And who knows, maybe you can actually use characters in those environments that it's like, hey, well, you know what? Dante, he's an ADC. He's a carry.
Yep.
But when Dante steps in the void lane, he now gets a buff because he's a void character, void type of character.
Yeah.
You get me there?
Cool.
You get me? So it's like, hey, like,
like
his lane is where he's gonna excel because of the buffs and everything is gonna be the fire. But then as soon as he steps in mid, he's on its own, which might almost encourage individuals to be like, hey, I'm gonna go a void character on the void lane, even though it's not my strong, even though, like, for example, Dante solo on void lane might not be the play. You get me? It might not be 100%. The play, but it's something that you might be try to off meta comp in different roles. Like, you know, like your carry went mid, but now you have your mid laner over on the solo lane because he's an ice type of character. You get the vibes I'm kind of throwing. So, but that's gonna open up a whole fucking spectrum of balancing problems. But it's a cool idea.
Well, that's the thing about them, right? We've talked a lot about their marketing choices and things like that. That's something I think that they can fix going into the future. It's not so bad now that it's going to be hugely detrimental to them in the future. They could, especially seeing them post on other platforms, they're kind of picking up on a lot of that stuff. The thing for me that's going to make or break this game is balance. They are creating so many systems to have to balance around that it's going to be absolutely insane to have to work on any of that, especially initially. Once they get it in a balanceable state, it's only tweaking things here and there. But that first week, several weeks, month, are going to be an absolute disaster without good balance.
So that's rough, because I get what you're saying. Like, they're going to have to make sure that with all these interesting mechanics that they're throwing in there, they're almost reinventing a genre. Like, but how are they gonna know what balance it, like, and I think this is where their leadership and their team is gonna come into question. And I would love to get to know more of them, because unfortunately I don't. I've spoken to one or two, like Moose, for example, but I'm really curious, because we saw great personalities, but I'd love to pick their brain and be like, okay, so what do you feel balance should be? Because at the end of the day, they have a couple choices. They can make the choice of balance it like a traditional MOBA and then try to balance their mechanics after the fact, or they could be like, take a smite approach and be like, hey, you don't have a broken hero if they're all broken. Right? If anybody gets fed, they run the whole lobby. Shouldn't have let him get fed. Like you get what I was a player. Yeah. He's OP. Well, you made him OP. That's your fault.
Yep.
Like, so you get me. There's a couple different ways that they could go, and I'm excited, but I'm also cautious. Like, I'm worried about the fact that whenever people are creating their own genres, they tend to, and this is, you know, coming off of the King's Hunt video that we just got done doing here before. Whenever people are creating their own genres, they tend to almost ignore logic, because they have this perception, this idea of what they want to create in the long run. They don't think about the short run. They don't think about how it affects their community. They're like, well, you know what? It might not make sense for the first 10 weeks. It might, you know, people might get lost. People might leave. We'll get them back in the long run. The long run is what we're going for. And that's not necessarily, like, I absolutely hate when companies do that, because they're trying to... So you mean the
strange matter approach to things?
Bro, all of them. Like, Strange Matters has done this. King's Hunt is definitely doing this.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm afraid, like, you know, we haven't really seen much out of Ethereal, but I'm afraid that they might do this, because it's very easy to get caught in your big picture. But you don't realize you have to make micromanagement decisions, marketing, community engagement, you know, like build, like have certain things within the game. Like, let's say even if the Ethereal comes out and they release an alpha, right? Let's say the alpha lasts for a month, for example. If you don't give a player a reason to play for the whole month, and you expect them to just play because they want to, the actual retention is not going to be where you need it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and lower my ringtone right now, because it's about to ring in a minute. I just remembered. But
no, absolutely. And I think part of it as the community, right? I consider myself a part of the community more so than a content creator and being involved with them the way I am. As a community, we need to also keep it. We can't inflate their egos over it as well, right? There's a lot of talk in the community of like, when this game comes out, it's gonna be better than Smite. It's like, whoa. We got a long way to go before we get to that level. Like, there are a lot of steps that come before being better than Smite. Like, let's not inflate them to like just worry about beating Smite, because that's what we want, right? It needs to be at the beginning, it's balanced, and it's, like you said, a reason to play. Give me a reason to come back to the game and do all of those things. The nice thing that I'm really glad to see from them is they've already talked about account progression being a thing. That as your account levels up, rewards and icons and things like that, something that even on a very, very small level can give you incentive to play the game, because you want to reach that next icon level. You want to reach the next tier. You want to get level 20 where you get this reward, whatever it may be.
See, that's like, I'm almost like scarred because I hear stuff like that and I'm like, yes, like it's nice to hear, but I've heard it before and I've seen in multiple examples from different companies where it's been talked about for years and still not implemented. So I almost caution them, because they're still working and they've kept quiet for so long. I almost caution them to don't pull an EA Battlefront 2. And I'll dive into detail for those that might not get what I'm saying. When Battlefront 2 first came out, it was in beta testing, right? It wasn't even fully released. They came across this whole fiasco of microtransaction, right? Something simple, that can be fixed. The game was still good, but it tarnished the reputation so much that people that were waiting to play canceled their pre-orders. People that wanted to play said, I'm not playing it because of microtransactions. I was still hearing a year after the game released, oh, I'm not gonna play because of microtransactions. And in my mind, I'm like, does he know that microtransactions got eliminated before the game got released? But it tarnishes a reputation. And one thing that we're seeing some of these companies go through is the unfortunate circumstance of showing stuff a little too early, or even if you show it, not being clear with people like, hey, this is early access alpha. Things are subject to change. If you have feedback, report it here. Like, too many people are approaching some of these projects like, you know, Fall, King's Hunt and stuff, and expecting a finished game or finished game performance with a little bit of tweaking. And then they play it and they're like, fuck that. I'm not wasting my money. I'm out of here.
Yeah. 100%.
And I'm honestly very worried, because a good thing was in that November event, it was only content creators. So it was a good thing that it was only content creators. And I encouraged to them like, hey, if before you release anything playable, even if you just release a 1-lane 2v2 with two or three characters that you can choose from for the time being, I definitely suggest make sure that some of those core mechanics, like having a tutorial in there, even some sort of simple account progression, and you know, like something in there to get people to keep coming back. Because even though I know it might not be priority, and it definitely isn't as far as the big spectrum of the game, when you're looking at building a game, the last thing you're thinking about is, well, I mean, people don't need to track how much they've been playing. We could put that in later, you know? And I totally get that. But again, it's one of those things that you got to be mindful how you tailor to your audience, because you want your audience to keep coming back. And if you're just expecting people to stay off of pure gameplay, you're going to see a dwindling community, because even the best of gameplay gets stagnant after a while.
100%.
We live in an age.
If we look at League as the example, they changed their formula on its head every other year, it seems like. I mean, they just completely bonkers go out of their mind. It's like, oh, okay. And while that may be crazy changes that nobody asked for, it changes the flavor of the game, that you can go back as a player
Gets
who hasn't
people
played in
coming
years,
back.
or you play every day and it still feels new to you. I think that new feeling is going to be for most, if not all, of the people that play Ethereal, because there's so many new concepts in it. But it's once we get past
everything.
that newness, what happens from there? The thing, I mean, I personally do this, and I'm sure a lot of other people do, but I think game companies especially need to do this: under promise, over deliver. Everything. I don't care what it is.
100%.
I don't care anything about it. If you tell us exactly how it's going to be, and you release it anything less than that, you're gonna get flamed for it. Under promise, over deliver on every single aspect of what you're doing.
And can I say, as far as under promise, over deliver, whatever your deadline is, give yourself at least 20% more time. Like if you're like, hey, next playtest is going to be June 30th. All right, so by June 30th, I expect everything to be done April 3rd and ready. I'm talking about balance tested, ready to go, like you got it to the point where you want. And then spend those extra months adding in a little sugar and spice for the individuals. Like 100%. One thing, like I completely understand the perception of, well, we want to get content out. We want to, you know, we don't want people to think that we're in the dark too long. So we're planning on getting it ready by April 3rd. So April 3rd is the day that we're going to say, but even if you're late by an hour, even if you're late by a day, it reflects poorly on a company. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as over, I was going to say over promise, as far as under promise, over deliver, they honestly need to nail that almost out of the park. But it doesn't have to be in crazy ways. You don't have to necessarily ruin your schedule or assign individuals to something so specific. Like, it's not like, oh, we need a new map by then or something like that. Even though, as we saw, they can come up with a new map fairly easily. Yeah. But even the slightest little thing, like let's say, for example, they decide, okay, we're going to have an open playtest for a weekend in June 30th, right? So by June 30th, we're not expecting much. What they should do is appropriately tease leading up to, and this is just on the marketing side. I'm not sure if they have like marketing managers or whatever.
They do, yeah.
But for example, one thing I think they should do is not only, like if they say on June 30th, we're gonna have a playtest, they should have teasers leading up to that playtest. The teasers should only cover about 50% of what they're gonna be able to show people. And tease that going throughout. Leave 25% for your content creators, because even though you got content creators covering shit after the fact, that's a misuse of your content creators. Your content creators are the key connecting dots between you and the community. So what you should do is another 25% goes to content creators. They get shit specifically that nobody else gets, and then they get to create content on it. Now, while your content is coming out, content creators with inside news coming at you, you know, like, oh, this just confirmed, building up even more hype. But again, you still have 25% that your content creators and your community does not even know about, and you gave yourself an extra 20% time. All this was finished by the beginning of April. Yep. So you're set, you're not on a crunch line, it's adequately spaced out to create a good marketing conception and everything. And then people still get surprised because there's more given to them than promised, like you said. What were you gonna say? Absolutely.
And the thing that my dad always tells me, right, is high tide raises all ships. Right? If your content creators are supporting you and you're supporting your content creators, you both benefit from it. Because if they get better, if they get a bigger audience, more videos to make, whatever it may be, and they're bringing more content to your game, you benefit. If you're giving them the opportunity to do those things, they benefit, right? So it's no matter what, if both things are doing well, they're going to raise each other up at the same time. Like you were just saying, where you have like content you're teasing, content creators, and then a little bit extra that nobody knows about, that's surprise. I always think of, and I go back to League because that's the one I play, but the Akali rework. They were teasing it for months, they announced it, and then they had their Akali specific creators show it before anybody else could play it. Right? That's a huge progression of exactly like what you were saying, where there's a dedicated flow of information. It like I said, high tide raises all ships. It's really easy to boost the whole thing at once than it is to do it in pieces by yourself.
I'd also caution that to be careful as far as content creators, because it's very easy to consider a content creator as just another person in the community.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? Like, and that goes more along the lines of, hey, well, you get to make a video when we release it. Like for example, if there's a new map coming out and there's a new map teaser that's going to be released, I don't know why I keep saying June 30th. Let's say the new map teaser is going to be released on June 30th. I'm expecting for you guys, if you got a minute long video about the new map on June 30th, I expect JellyKnees to have a teaser, a quick little 10-second clip a week before. Mm-hmm. Now, JellyKnees not only has time to create content, you know, whether it be write a script, whether it be theorize with other stuff, whatever content he wants to make off of it. But then you just tell JellyKnees, hey, you can drop this the day before we release ours. Mm-hmm. So now he has adequate time to prepare it. Now he has an influx because people are waiting for the new map, but JellyKnees just dropped his new video, etc. And then, bam, the next day, the full video, and then you can do a video on that full video also.
Yep.
But that's what I'm saying, like, lead up to it. Like, whenever I reached out to try and become a, you know, in the like part of the content creator program and everything, like, you know, I'm definitely the type that's like, hey, I do not want to make content on something that was made a year ago. I am not gonna, like, you know, like, they're like, oh, well, here's the old map video you can make a video of. It's like, well, didn't you just tell me that's not
relevant anymore?
Yeah, like, I'm like, didn't you just tell me that's not the map you're using? Yeah. And you, like, you still want me to make a video on that? It's like, well, you can. I was like, I'm not going to. Like, what do you mean? And then I'm like, yo, is there anything new that you can give me? Like, hell, you could literally just show me an overlay. I'll make a video about the overlay. Yep. Let's go. Could you show me something new that's actually gonna come out? But like something that, like, dude, believe me, sorry, I just punched my mic again. I was trying to hassle. I'm literally like, hey, give me something new. It doesn't have, it could be the smallest thing in the world, but I want to be able to give my community something new.
Yeah.
And all they told me is you can have everything old.
Yeah, absolutely. I took an image that they gave us and I made an 8-minute video off of one image. I made an 8-minute video off of that. Like, the fact that that's doable for their game needs to be done more often. It needs to not just be me, for the most part, as the person who's posting their content the most often. It's I would love to see more stuff like that. And like you said, getting information early, that even if it's a smaller piece of whatever they're going to do, that way we can create content on it. I know for me, it takes me usually 3 days of a turnaround for when something drops to get a video out on it, between script writing, filming, editing, the whole 9 yards. Mm-hmm. So at least some lead time, instead of like, or even
like they drop their map video and 3 days later, then your video comes out.
Yeah, I can't say specifically what, but in the past they've given us information, like Mangoose and I have given us information, and then you can't talk about this till we fully admit it. It's like, okay, so then why did you tell us?
Dude, right.
Because
that's exactly.
We can't, if you're not going to give us all they tell us it exists, but not enough information to do anything with.
And then they say don't mention it.
Yeah, and then it's this weird, like, okay, so I could be prepared, but I don't know what the information entails, so it's hard to really be prepared for what's coming. Like, it's weird.
Yo, and can I just say, I saw King's Hunt do this, and I got to give them praise, and Ethereal should do this, all these other companies should do this. King's Hunt actually has, I don't know if you got this, Shelly, but King's Hunt actually has a Google Drive document specifically for special events that they update. You literally go in there is a note from the developers like, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're going to go over. This is what we'd like you to show. This is what we advise you don't show. Here's a little bit of history about the company if you wish to mention something about it. We're also going to include that there. Here are screenshots. Here is our banner. Here is our logo, like a full folder with everything you're going to need to do to create a video on it. And they literally just update that once in a bit. That is honestly genius. And then you literally just send the link to the creators.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's super clever. Super clever to do something like that. And they easily could do as much organizing as there is in this Discord that I'm looking at right now. They can easily do that.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely. Even something like what Fault did is Fault has a press kit on their website that you can go, anyone can go access
kind of
and
like that.
download the assets to make with those assets. I think that's a great idea as well.
Kind of like that. They could have a kind of like Fault did, a press kit that's just for general use for anybody that wants to do content, and then have like a partner press kit. And that's where you include all those little extra things that you get as a part, you know, in the creator program and all that.
I mean, I know up to this point, and they've recently started doing more of that, where they send me the information instead of me having to go digging for it. But up until a month ago, almost everything was something that I had to go on their website, find the source file, download off the website or wherever it may be, to get the information to make a video about.
And that sucks. You're
a lot of extra work.
That's what I'm saying. If you're in a partner creator program, what exactly? Because I think of those relationships like a two-way relationship, right? I benefit, you benefit, etc. But you're having to do all this work. Why are you in the program exactly? Has the program, like, you get me? Like, especially if all the program entails is like, hey, we're gonna tell you about something, but you can't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because a lot of your videos really do come from your own legwork. It's got nothing to do with the program, quite frankly.
Yeah. And
it really is one of those things that, again, misuse of content creators is something that can easily happen, but it's a missed opportunity. Like, if you have content creators that are making not only good content, quality content, entertaining, something that you could even put on your website to show off the game. If you got a content creator like that, why don't you just take, like, right now, I'm looking at the UG team and UG Fire, which is their leader. I'm online, I see 20 people right now. You're honestly telling me one individual can't just create a quick little Google Drive document to make it easier for your partner to create content, and you just update that shit once a week?
Yep.
Like, you get me? And when I see things like that aren't done, it just lets me know, as from somebody on the outside looking in, that is not a focus, which is understandable. A lot of people are focused on the game, but like I said before, it's dangerous when they focus too much on the big picture, because then they're not realizing these little things that they could be doing to help generate growth within the game. Help generate not necessarily even hype, but information. Like, Jelly, I know you know all this shit, but I promise you there's going to be a large amount of people watching this. They're going to be like, what are the classes in Ethereal? What are the hero classes?
Oh, without a question.
Like,
without a question.
Or like, for example, new map, Void, Fire, Ice. What does that mean?
What? Yeah.
Or, for example, again, moving forward, they got heroes. Okay, I've seen a few of the heroes. They kind of look cool. I guess, you know, like, I read a little bit, but I wasn't about to read a whole paragraph. What does that hero do? And now, again, all this shit that I'm talking about, JellyKnees is covered, first of all. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's honestly one of those things that there's still so much misinformation out there. They could be doing so much to help a content creator, not necessarily on the side of generating hype, but educating the community, especially when you're trying to reinvent a genre. Education is going to be your biggest ally, because when people start playing the game, the more people know about the game, the more people know your classes, the more people know your item system, the more people know all your different buffs, how they benefit, theorizing on how to do all that. This is all things that content creators could do that can help your community be better educated. But as of right now,
100%.
But as of right now, it's literally just, hey, we're gonna throw it out there. We're gonna let them, if they find the information, educate themselves, or we're gonna rely on JellyKnees and the likes to go through, filter through, and be like, hey, so you might have missed this, but look at what I found. And it, which is all just more credit due to Jelly. But I gotta say, man, like, I'll tell you me, for an example. When I create my content, I go to the announcements tab of the game. If I see something worth reporting, bet I'll make a video. But if I go to the announcements tab and I just see, hello animals, our official website has been launched. Whatever, click. Like, you get me? Like,
oh yes, 100%.
Man, bro. Like, what do you want me to do? Create a video about how nice your website looks?
Yeah, I think the announcements panel needs to be used so much more than it is. So much more. And that's a thing. That's something I've shared with them, and so it's on them at this point, right? If they decide to do it, great. If they don't, well, then best of luck. But something in addition to the content creator program, something that I think a majority of content creator programs do, but it's just not as obvious as it was when Fault came out and SMS was looking for people. You need to get your creators making content. If they're in your program, why are they not making content for you?
True.
As it sits right now, for the most part, unless there's something I've missed, Mangoose and I are the only content creators in the program consistently making content for their game.
True.
Right, and I don't say that to push anybody out. I'm not like, anybody that's in there already, make content that you fix this problem. I don't have any issues with anybody. I'm not trying to force anybody out, nothing like that. But if you're in the program, you need to make content. And that's something they need to enforce. That's not for me to do. That's not for me to go down or anything like that.
And that is a double-edged sword, because you can't request consistent content if you don't provide consistent content for the content creator.
To be sure.
You get me? So yeah. They definitely need to step that side up, like I was saying, as far as helping out the content creator. But simultaneously, I agree. If you're gonna be in the content creator program, there should be perks. There should be perks to want you to be in the content creator program, but being part of the content creator program should come with a caveat, like, hey, at least give me one video a month.
Absolutely.
At least, because it really is one of those things that too many people can easily take advantage of programs like that, whether it be Fault, whether it be Strange Magics, etc. And it really comes down to the whole shedding light. And again, one of the reasons why I hit up JellyKnees on making this video is because I believe in Ethereal. I support their project. I was not allowed into the content creator program until I made an Ethereal exclusive video. So here's your Ethereal exclusive video, but it's not going to be what you expected. It's going to be with a little bit of Windu style to it. And who better to get on here than probably Ethereal's lead content creator as far as video. Yeah, low-key. So I definitely see a lot of room for improvement. And I'm torn. I don't know how you feel. I don't know if you're kind of torn on it too, because from what I'm gathering from your side, Jelly, is you're extremely supportive of the project. Like, you honestly really do believe in this project's success. But from what I see from your videos and from what I see from you, and this is just an outside person looking in, there's no reason why somebody in the forefront of your content creation should be doing the legwork of a random person out there. You get me? Like, if this is one of your most frequent content creators helping out your community, why doesn't he get more shout outs on your Discord? Like, I can tell you this, we don't know the exact amount, but under their rules, something that they just did here in the last week or two is everybody has to react to a role now to be able to see everything. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
In that reaction, we got about 1,500 people, right? So and this is where my disconnect is. If you have 1,500 people that are engaged in your Discord enough to know about the game, why is your lead content creator only got 242 subscribers? And this is more of a shot at Ethereal, because if you got somebody creating that good of content, that character breakdowns, theory crafting, etc., this is something that you should honestly share with your community. Like, low key, it's like, if I had a business and I got somebody making my business look this good, I'd literally just do a Twitter. Like, you guys are now starting to socialize a little bit more. Do a Twitter post, do a Facebook post. Yo, check out this great Dante overview guide for those of you that don't know what Dante is like, which is 99% of people.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You feel me? And again, misuse of content creators. Like, it's very easy to think, hey, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing. We will grow off of the content creator because we're letting the content creator do the legwork. Mm-hmm. But if I almost feel like they don't fully understand how the algorithms work, because it really is. Let's say those 1,500 people just went by your video. Your video has 1,500 views now, as opposed to, let's say, 200 views it would have gotten, right? Yep. So already, what is that? Over like a 400% increase, 300% increase, almost something like that. So already your YouTube video is 300% more likely to be shared to somebody that might want to join Ethereal, or somebody that is following Ethereal but wasn't exposed to this content creator. They need to understand how that back and forth
exponentially works from there too, because they could just share it with somebody else that doesn't know about the game. They go like, oh, this is the game I was telling you about a year and a half ago, but now there's more information here. Watch this content creator's video, right? Like the exposure goes up crazy amounts exponentially.
For everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody, because not only do you benefit, they would benefit. Exactly. And like, honestly, we're getting close to an hour here, so we'll end the video. But I honestly think that's the biggest missed opportunity for all these companies, and the biggest missed opportunity that I can see for Ethereal as well, is not only a restructure of their content creator program, but a misuse of their content creators. And if they can use these content creators properly, they can help create somebody's career. But simultaneously, that person could literally make them look 1,000,000 times better than they did before. And that's what one of the biggest advice that I'm going to give them is, be very wise about your beneficial relationships, like your mutual relationships that you actually make. But not only that, make sure that you use them properly. Make sure that, I mean, low key, it might sound kind of corny, cherish that relationship when you got one of those. Because I'll be honest with you, man, if I was JellyKnees, after 40 videos, if my video only got 200 views, I would say, fuck creating that content. I'm gonna make something else that helps me grow. The only reason that this man is making these videos right now is because he believes that much in the game. And I'm just outside person looking in. I'm not even part of the content creator program. I'll be honest with you, after this video, I'm not even sure if they'll let me be in it. But I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, quite frankly, you are low key that kid in middle school that was in love with the girl. You did everything for her. You got her flowers. You walked her from class to class. You got her some snacks. You carried her books. And then at the end of the day, it's like, bye, Jelly.
Oh,
that's it.
That hits a little too deep. Bro,
but that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's very easy to be like, hey, I appreciate that, but I'm not showing no love back. Very, very easy. And that's what I'm saying. When you have content creators like that, you need to not only encourage that content creator, you need to, like, it's almost like, hey, if we want them to keep creating content like this, it's almost like, hey, we should give them a helping hand. Even if it's just sharing that one video on Facebook. That does a lot, because now people know where his content is at, and now your game looks exponentially better. Now they got, what was it, 42 videos, 40? something.
40 something like that. Yeah, right in there.
Now they got 40 something videos to go through and educate themselves. That's gold. You honestly expect one Facebook post to do that much for you? No. But sharing a content creator that has that, and again, this is just outside looking in, because if I were in that content creator program, I promise you somebody would be hearing me bark all fucking day. I promise. Don't get me wrong, I support the game, I want it to succeed, but my mindset, like my business mindset and everything that I have from past sales and everything, I cannot, if I want a game to succeed, I cannot sit here and just idly watch them make such a small amateur mistake. And it happens because it's a growing company. But individuals like me and Jelly are here to be like, hey, knock on the door, wake up. We are not gonna let you fail. We're not gonna let you make these big of mistakes because we want you to succeed. But simultaneously, it doesn't matter how long Jelly knocks on that fucking door, you have to answer the door. And you have to actually listen to the advice. Because it is very easy, again, to be like, they could watch this video and be like, yeah, that's just two people complaining. Or that's just two people giving feedback. Like, yeah, we listened to maybe one of the things they said, which being, again, you know, fair is fair. They don't have to do everything that we say. But
even in a rant, there's still valuable information.
Of course, of course.
If someone could be ranting this, so yes, they're over the edge, to be sure, if it was a full-blown rant. But some of the stuff they're saying still is true, even inside that rant.
Correct. And even, let me go like even just a slightly little bit deeper here. Even if it is a one-sided rant, let's say I was pissed beyond belief and I made a video just completely about negative comments. That sucks. But I promise you, a lot of those negative comments were based off of truth or a point of view. And one thing I was always taught, if you feel that way, there's at least 1,000 other people that feel that way.
Yep.
For every one person that doesn't like the food in your restaurant, 40 individuals aren't coming back tomorrow. Just because that one person told you.
Before I make comments like that to Ethereal specifically, I have a couple community members that I trust and I know aren't going to run around and spread fire, but that I'll be like, hey, I'm feeling like this. How do you guys feel? Like, I just want to make sure like I'm not the only one here, or I'm full blown or wherever. Like, I want to see that there's other people that have at least similar feelings that I do in certain scenarios.
Yeah, like you validate your point of view at least to a certain extent before. Yeah, I get what you're saying. See, honestly, you and I are different people. Because I'm definitely the type of person that's going to be like, okay, so my point of view might not be justified. My point of view might be wrong. I'm going to let my point of view known. We will have a proper discussion. You're more than welcome to prove me wrong. I will concede if I am wrong.
Yeah.
But I promise you, the last thing that you're going to notice is me staying quiet in a corner.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you're definitely going to hear me barking because I believe in these projects. Other projects have gotten mad at me for some of the videos that I've created. Other projects have been like, you know what? I don't know if that kind of, negativity is what we need. And I'm like, here's the thing, bro. If I'm pointing it out, I promise to you, there's 1,000 other people that are not playing your game again because they're telling their friends about it and they're going to go play some Call of Duty in the meantime. And they say, fuck that game. So if I need to make a big scene about it by creating a video about it, I am very sorry, but I need this to get addressed so this game will succeed. Because I want these games to succeed.
Smoke, there's fire.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, we're actually coming up on like less than a minute from an hour. So
real quick though, I do want to say for Ethereal, go ahead. Despite a lot of the things we talked about, I am confident the game is being worked on. So if anybody's out there concerned that that's not a thing, that they're just blowing smoke in the air, right? That I'm confident that the game's being worked on. I have no doubts about that. It's just a matter of when we get more than just being worked on. I have no information there.
More than coming soon.
Yeah.
Which is a huge joke that's already within communities and communities.
And it's at the point where the joke is bad for the community. At first it was funny, but now it's at the point where any message like coming soon, it's like, yeah, okay, sure. So 4 more years, like
hope is being lost, low key.
Yep, 100%.
And that's why I'm saying use those content creators. It's a huge tool. It is a huge tool. And if you don't have enough content creators, I promise you there are great content creators out there that only have like 100 subscribers that could make your company look great. You get what I'm saying?
And that's, and I made the comment earlier of if they're not going to make videos, they don't need to be in the program, because there's somebody that will make videos who wants to be in the program.
True.
There's always someone who wants to be the person in that program. I mean, prior to November, that person was me. I was 100% the guy that I was like, that program, I'm going to be in that program. I'm going to do the thing.
Dude, I was so jelly when you were in the November thing. I literally commented like, Jelly's in there. How'd Jelly get in? I want to get in.
Seeing that message and dying, man. Like, oh, good.
I was like, Jelly got in? Whoa! Like, yo, oh my God, bro. I was like, yo, I started DMing people. I DM'd you. I was like, hey, how'd you get in? Like, oh man, but yeah, everybody go follow JellyKnees. Like 242 is too low of a number for this guy. Honestly, let's try to get that shit to 1,000. Like if you subscribe to him, share that shit. 242, bro, that's the time I wake up in the afternoon. That's not a good number for you. Like we need to get that shit up. But thanks so much for watching, everybody. Go follow us, man, and as always, till the next video.